Evening, everyone. Can you hear us in the chat? Let us know. I know that you can probably hear us, but seems to be the in thing. Checking. Can everyone hear us? While I send a tweet.
I should have had something planned for this bit. I could have had some.
Could have had you could have had that music playing.
I don't. I spent all day today singing "World in Motion." I cannot get the John Barnes rap out of my head. It's been in my head all day.
That because of what's his name? Who's that MP? Rees Mogg.
Yeah.
He was rapping in Parliament. There we go. Everyone can hear. Evening all. Who's in the chat? Evening Glasto, Bricky, Rory, Fantasy Connexton, Alamany Dwight, Addy Tor, Ollie Blake. Evening, and there's probably there's about 10 other people that just sitting there probably enjoying their dinner and not having to rush their dinner like you did.
No, I've got half a Wagamama sat to the side of me right now because the delivery driver showed up 45 minutes late with it. So I'm halfway through a yaki udon. I'll have the rest of it after the
stream. Evening, everyone. So yeah, I'm FPL Panda, and I'm joined here by Craig Kemp, 32. He's going to be taking us, or hopefully helping us decipher what we're going to be doing in Treble Gameweek 37. How you doing, Craig? Other than hungry?
Well, I'm good. It's good to go through it like this. I've been hoping I get the chance to come on here and have a little run through with various game weeks, and obviously I've already done a pod already on the Treble game week, so I'll sort of talk over the main points that the pod sort of brings up. But I'm sure there's some other things that we can touch on as well that wasn't included in the pod that's on there that I've recorded already with Benno. So we'll get to that later on.
Cool. How did you get on in game week 36?
Not great. To be fair, it was an expected red arrow. 43 points, game week rank of about 1,000. But I didn't make a transfer this week because I've already kind of prepared a 5 transfer move this week. So it's a -12 with my 2 threes and 3 others. So I wanted to roll the transfer to save the -4 for this. And because I wasn't expecting Man United to do that well against Bolton, I didn't want to make the moves a week early. And obviously you get an extra week now to see if there's any injuries and things. So I saved my transfer. So I was rolling with quite a bad team this week. And then Southgate didn't show up, which made my already bad team even worse. So
he was too busy sorting out the team for the semi-final. Well,
yeah,
no, for the final. It's last night, wasn't it? The game was.
I thought he'd be quite good at multitasking. I thought he could have just stood there and headed a few balls away and got his rating and 2 bonus points and then gone back to England duty. But he obviously felt like he couldn't. Called up Peter Atherton or Fester in it to cover him.
Yeah. So you got what was it? 45 points.
43 points.
43 points, and I got a game week rank of 43 with 75 points after a -4. I started bringing in some. I think I brought in Partridge and Hoopier this week. So yeah, that was the start of bringing in the Liverpool assets ahead of the double, and then I'll probably bring in a couple of Millwall, but we'll come to that later on. So let's have a quick look at the scores from last night. So we'll start off with United Bolton. Veron with a brace, which I was happy with. I'm guessing you didn't have Veron?
No, I only had Chadwick, and I got Chadwick and Sylvester. I wasn't intending to have Veron for the treble, and this game week, depending on which sim you ran, was very hit and miss for Veron. So I think TM Fantasy said on his that Veron did quite well. On my sims, he was fairly average. I know everyone's a bit pot luck, but I think Veron was definitely very up and down for this game. And obviously, we struck lucky in our sim that I think he got like 5 shots, didn't he, or something? So it's not unreasonable. He scored 2 goals from those 5 shots,
3 on target, and 2 goals. Yeah, it's nice return from him. Probably slightly unlucky not to get a rude return there as well.
And Nedved, I think it would have been quite a good game for him against obviously wing back, and Pitts isn't especially good wing back. Nedved's had like 3 key passes, two shots on target, no bonus, no attacking returns, and I think a lot of people think he's a good option for the treble. So anyone that went there a week earlier, I think I can understand that with playing against the wing backs. I think if I wanted him, he would have been probably the one I would have gone for this week, the week early. I say his numbers in the game were actually quite good, but it just obviously one of those games he didn't get any returns for how well he did.
Yeah.
So shame for him.
Right, and then Chelsea Newcastle. I was on the stream last week. I was thinking, this if there wasn't the treble coming afterwards, this would be a good time to be targeting Chelsea, getting Chelsea defence or Good Johnson to come in, because this Newcastle team are awful and all unhappy because they all hate Laurent Robert. So yeah, I was expecting something like this, but it's just, I think with the treble game week and the doubles for Liverpool, Millwall as well, and it just it felt wrong to bring in a Chelsea player if you didn't have them.
It's just a bog standard Chelsea win, isn't it? I think it reminds me of the Mourinho first season almost. They just win every week 1-0, 2-0 or 3-0. I think that's what Mourinho did in his first year at Chelsea. I know it's not Mourinho, but it just feels like it happens every week in our sim that they get that. So I was on double defence for ages, and then a few things happened. I think Terry was injured, Desai then missed a couple of games, and now I've got none. But anyone that's still got any of the Chelsea defenders, especially 2, if people carried them through, this was a fairly expected result. Although Shearer did have 4 shots, I think. So if you still kept Shearer, because he's got quite a good game, obviously, this week. If you kept Shearer, you're a bit unlucky, actually, not to get something here, because he's, again, say 4 shots, 2 on target is pretty good. I wouldn't have expected him to have that. But, yeah, I'd say Chelsea winning 1-0 or 2-0 is, I think, what we expect in our sim now. So nothing sort of massively surprising with that result, I don't think.
Yep. Leeds take another step closer to the title. We wanted them to maybe drop points to try and lock in like the United treble game week, like full strength all the way through. But they take another step. I think a win on the Saturday of game week 37 pretty much nails it for them. Or if United drop points against either Millwall or Liverpool, I don't know how it works out. I think if United win on the Saturday game against Borough, then I think it's if they drop points in any of those 3 games, that's when Leeds win the title. If Leeds win,
you fancy them anyway, right? The last 2 games aren't actually too bad, are they? Leeds, their away game this week's not horrendous, so I think you. I'd be surprised if they made a mess of it from here. You'd probably bank on them winning at least one of those last 2 games. I know they're both away.
Watford and City, yeah.
So Man
City aren't going to give them anything.
It's a bit unlucky this week. If you brought Larson in, I think he was quite unlucky. In my sims before this game week, he was the striker who averaged the most shots. And I think he had
4 shots.
You'd have taken that before the game, 4 shots, 3 on target. Again, you're quite unlucky not to get a return if you owned him this week. You'd have been in my free hit team if I did it. So a bit unlucky, but I've said before, I think on some of my other pods that Vestervel's the best keeper in the game. I think like to own, not necessarily like attribute wise, but in terms of his routes to points, and he's obviously had another good game there. Even without David Weatherall, Blackburn is still a bit of a nuisance to sort of thrash, aren't they? Away from home, especially when they played a 7-2-1, they're just incredibly hard to score. You can't really target them with attacking players that easily. I say the Larson was shooting a lot, but obviously it still doesn't mean guaranteed returns. So yeah, probably a fairly expected result. I probably would have said 2-0 before the game in that as well. So not far off what I would have thought.
Cool. Quickly through to City versus Leicester. Relatively high scoring, 2-2, 4 goals. I think you probably expect something like this with Leicester being quite poor away from home, but still City are quite poor defensively anyway. So would you expect something like this to have happened?
It's nice for one chop to actually back up the sim data for once, because he was one of my sort of dark horses to do well this week. A goal and 3 bonus. He promises it quite a lot, and we haven't really had it that much in our sim. He's ticking along okay.
Yeah.
But I think I would expect a little bit better from him by this point. I've owned him twice on separate occasions, and he's not delivered when I thought he would. So it's nice that we've got a half decent home game, and he has got something.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have expected Leicester to score 2, if I'm being honest. I don't tend to shoot very much in away games, and City of all teams in our sim are probably more negative at home than anyone else. So they don't tend to be that easy to score against City. But yeah, it's this. Expecting clean sheets from them is probably not a good thing. I think owning their defenders is tempting City, but they don't tend to deliver too much, do they? I think they're quite frustrating to own at 4.5 because they promise quite a lot and you don't get much off them.
No. Cool. Middlesbrough, Watford, 3-2, and my captain, I took the gamble and I got a brace from him.
He would have been my captain if I was playing seriously this week, to be fair. He was the best captain in my sim data, even ahead of Phillips. So I think everyone that did ask me on like Discord or anything for a captain, I did tell him I think I would have gone Boxic if I had something really to play for. I ended up going for Doherty in the end because I wanted to take that massive risk and what could happen with him. But yeah, I'm not surprised Boxic delivered. I think it was just got lucky he didn't get repped out, right? Because obviously Zephyr didn't play, Southgate didn't play, but Boxic survived.
Yeah, that was the only concern really, and it's the amount of times this season where I've capped him and then he's blanked, and then to finally not just get a return but a brace from him, it felt good for once. I am selling him this week badly. So
yeah, everyone will be, won't they? I think.
Yeah, pick up that brace and move on and target someone else.
It's unfortunate because people are loaded up on triple Borough probably for this game, and I'd imagine Southgate, Zepeda, and Boxic would have been the most common triple up. So to then have 2 of them that didn't play, and now you got to get rid of them before Man United. That's really unfortunate for anyone that did that.
Yeah, I had Zepeda and can't remember who I had coming in for him. We had Flitcroft coming in for him. So yeah, not great.
I know there was quite a few bench boosters, I think, as well. Probably at least one of those 2 Middlesbrough players that didn't make it. So I'm guessing anyone that played a bench boost this week probably didn't get the 15 out, which is obviously what you intend first of all when you play your bench boost. I don't think you could have really predicted this.
I'm quite lucky in that way because I was thinking of bench boosting last week, but because of Neil Sullivan, because of that, it made me not bench boost because I thought, I'm going to have to use a transfer to get a playing keeper in. And I wanted to use my transfers to target next week. So the bench boost is going to be in 38, whether I like it or not. And I think it's just going to be a case of play it and pray. Just try and have as many safe players as possible. Right, Millwall. So lots of people are going to be looking at these guys for next week. I was surprised by 2-0 victory.
This was probably the biggest game this week that rotated in Sims. I think it was fairly even, like 4 wins each or something in the Sims. I'm quite surprised. I was really expecting Dublin to score in this game, especially against Ashwood. But if we look at the numbers for Dublin, he didn't win a lot of headers, which is like very unusual for him. Like 4 out of 11. He's quite poor. Dolan, the Millwall defender, did quite a good job on him this week. I wasn't expecting. I was really confident Dublin would score, and obviously it didn't happen. But yeah, this game fluctuated quite a lot in Sims. 2-0 either way, 2-1 either way. So I can't say I'm overly surprised that Millwall won it. I am quite surprised that, say, Dublin didn't get a return though. Melberg had a busy afternoon. I saw as well. 20 headers he competed for, which is mental.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't owned Dublin this season, and I was quite scared of him this week.
I triple captained him last week when he's got that hat trick, so he's done his good deed to me.
Yeah,
but yeah, I fancied him to score this game as well.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those that you just didn't sell. And in this fixture, so yeah, Totter. Wouldn't say the hero, but only conceded an own goal in the end after.
He's very unlucky here. Look at his go to Tottenham stats a minute. I saw this on the stream the other night. The Tottenham stats. Look at the total: 7 key tackles for the goalkeeper. How has he not got? I don't quite know. He hasn't got any bonus points for that level of contribution. That's mental. That he 7 key tackles.
Yeah.
Got nothing for it. Selakovic, no shots, even though he's playing with an up arrow into a striker. That's standard him. Probably most frustrating player in the sim this season, I would say. you always kind of want him in a home game, especially on free hit. You feel like I'll have him, and then doesn't deliver. So he didn't manage a single shot in the whole game. Incredibly frustrated.
Yeah, he's he promised so much, especially in the first half of the season, and where he wasn't like going crazy, but he was steadily returning most weeks.
I think you expect him like 10, 15 goals, sort of 8 to 10 assists or something. I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation. He's got nowhere near that. So he's been frustrating. Nice for the Everton strikers to keep doing well, though, because I say there have been people that have persevered with them. They didn't get any goals this week, but they, in terms of numbers, I think the numbers were quite good, both of them.
Yeah,
so
I've got Kevin Campbell, and who I was thinking of selling last week, but kept him. And
they're pretty reliable for having shots. That's all you can ask for. People having 2 shots on target all the time, which I think is fairly reliable for them. You've always in with a shout, aren't you, of getting something? Here we go. This is so frustrating. This Ipswich Charlton game. Look at the numbers for Alan Armstrong. So he played right centre forward, which is the position Doherty normally plays.
7 shots, 3 on target.
That could have been Gary Doherty quite easily. So anyone that captained him like me, that's what you've missed out on. Most shots in the game week. And Titus Bramble was 100% fit as well. So I've got no idea why they've left Bramble out to dump Doherty in the back.
Because Titus Bramble's Titus Bramble, mate. That's why.
But yeah, we've been a bit unlucky. It was a risk punting on Doherty, but yeah, so that's what we could have been if he was playing up front. So
he still wouldn't have scored though. If Alan Armstrong ain't scoring and Gary Doherty ain't scoring.
But yeah, we was unlucky there. Fellow Doherty captain us.
And then Liverpool Arsenal. I was expecting a strong performance from Liverpool. It was backed up by with the red card to Parlour. It just kind of.
I think it just inflated how many shots Liverpool had. I think this was probably the expected result beforehand, 1-0 or 2-0.
Yeah.
They had more shots, Liverpool, probably because of the red card. Like Heskey, I think, got a few more shots away than maybe we expected. Obviously, didn't score. But it changed the complexion of the game a little bit. It didn't really change the complexion of the result, I don't think, the red card, because I think this was common. Don't quite know what Henry did to deserve an 8. I don't think his particular performance was, unless he went on a load of dribbles or something, which we obviously haven't seen, but his numbers are fairly average. In some areas, got an 8. So people that still kept Henry, which is understandable with Tottenham at home this week, and obviously using transfers and other things, they've done well to get some bonus points, because I wouldn't have expected that. Lost all his headers, didn't do anything really, and somehow got an 8 for it.
Yeah, Sammy Hoopier paid for my -4 for me, so with his goal and clean sheet and just general haul from him, so yeah, really happy.
Well, promises, right? A lot of people own him for that reason. He always has got the potential to deliver. Obviously, clean sheets are far more common than the penalties, but you obviously hope that you'll get the penalties sometimes, and this was one of those sort of lucky weeks where you got one. Yeah. So I don't begrudge anyone that, because he hasn't actually had that many. We'll check at some point later. It doesn't matter. I think he's only had like 3 or 4 or something, which isn't loads.
Yeah,
and he missed as well, didn't he? So you lost some points for that. I'm taking it.
Here we go. 4 penalties, and he's missed 2.
Okay. Give him to someone else.
And Mouse playing up again. And finally, Sunderland 3, Derby County 2. Kevin Phillips in the mud. I was happy with. Did I? Oh no, I had Rude, Kevin Campbell, and box it this week. I was scared of Kevin Phillips. I think again, it's another case of if the triple wasn't on the horizon, then I'd have been getting Kevin Phillips in and probably sticking the captaincy on him.
I can see why people did it, and they had like 15 shots on target. So clearly Sunderland dominated the way that they probably even more so than what people would have expected. Neil Ardley, their 5 key passes is quite a high number. I think 6 is the most we've had by any individual player in a game and across the whole sim. So the fact he's got 5 is incredible. And I think Derby, a bit like Bolton, are one of those teams where midfielders can do well, especially in that Veron's obviously scored 2 at Bolton. I think you can do well against teams that play wing backs, that play sort of 2 central midfielders and an AMC. So Bolton and Derby mainly. So yeah, good performance from him. hopefully, I don't know how many people got put off bringing Sunderland players in because of the fact Sullivan wasn't playing. Did people then get scared about taking
I
hits to
think
get
that's
Phillips?
yeah. I think the moment you saw Ashdown was starting, it was a case of if you already have Phillips, keep him. Don't maybe not captain him, or have some like a decent. Make sure you've got your vice set basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, you wouldn't buy him if you didn't have him when you normally might have.
I think some people might have saved themselves an extra -4. People may have persevered with Henri or Shearer or something, where they would have maybe moved to Phillips because they were scared about the possibility of him blanking, and then obviously taking a -4 for that would have been like doubly annoying. So people may have been saved there by the leak because they've probably not brought in Sunderland players because of it, and most of the ones that would have been popular haven't actually done anything. So the leak might have saved them, but yeah, unlucky Sunderland not to score more really with the amount of shots they had.
Cool. Right, let's have a look at where we stand with and that jazz. Right, nothing much to report from Arsenal. Ray Parlour, one match. Oh, he's got a one match ban from the 11th, so that's game week 38. There, and then he's also got one yellow card. So if he got a yellow card in 37, he'd then have another ban on the end of it for next season. Other than that, nothing to report from them. Villa, again, nothing to report. Danny Mills still 90%, 10 days, so back at 38. Everyone else, okay. Obviously, Alpine is still out for 3 games. So yeah, if for some reason you've got Alpine, then tell him he's never playing for you this season again.
Quite good. Now I think we can predict the back four. Their back four has been a bit difficult to predict lately, Villa, with a few different people playing at right back and stuff. But if Alpine is not playing, I'd imagine we'll get that back four again. I think Barry in the middle and right at left back is probably nailed now for another week at least.
Yeah.
So I don't think people will be bringing Villa defenders in though. I wouldn't think.
No. Blackburn, David Weatherall, obviously out for the season. But other than that, clean bill of health from everyone. Yeah, nothing to report from them. It's quite boring start, and then there's a few interesting ones coming up. And here's the first one. Rod Wallace is out. Expected back game week 38. Whether that happens or not is another matter. He sprained his ankle. What are your thoughts on that? I know you mentioned.
It's a shame because 38 is quite a good game for Bolton. So I think there'll possibly an outside shout for maybe to captain someone in 38 for that home game with Charlton. Obviously, the fact he might not be on penalties anymore dents his appeal a little bit. But obviously, got a few options now. They may just bring Ricketts in to play up front. I would think is probably the most likely, and leave Pedersen where he is. But it's possible Pedersen might get a role up front now. But he's starting to get a few returns, Pedersen, as an attacking midfielder. So it'll be a shame if they moved him. My gut feeling is that Ricketts will probably play up front now, at least for the next game.
Yeah. And that Gareth Wally still 90% out for a few days. They actually play next. They played today. Suspensions or anything for them. Right.
Came off my bench for Southgate not playing, to be fair. Wally chipped in with an assist and some bonus unexpectedly against Man United, so that was quite welcome.
Right, Charlton, Michael Clegg out for the rest of the season. Matty Denser out for the rest of the season with his suspension. Snodin and Martin aren't in the game. Everyone else is okay. I think Greg Warren was suspended. He's back. Yeah, anyone wants a punt on him again? There he is.
I don't know what happened to him. He had a good month, didn't he? And then he's been
Well, he got injured.
Forgotten about it again.
I think he got injured and then he got a suspension. 5 yellows. Did he get a red? I can't remember. But yeah. Right, Chelsea. Before I forget, because it's not marked yet, but Kudachini's ban starts tomorrow, and they don't play until Monday, so that's why he isn't flagged on the game yet as suspended, but he is suspended for the next game and for the rest of the season. It was great red, wasn't it? Yeah, 3 matches. So Kudachini is now unavailable. Patine 90%, 10 days. It's game week 38. Leon Knight 10 days, so 38, and Thomas Christensen a few days, which is 38. So that's all of Chelsea. Then who have they got in their last 2? Charlton and Everton. So it's probably another one where, with the knowing that all the defenders are okay, is probably a good thing, because you'd probably maybe
I
have
probably fancy Charlton to score at home to Chelsea this week. They've obviously got Salmon in goal now. Might be a cheap. I'm not sure how much he is, to be fair, in the game, or even if it's in the game. Salmon, the goalkeeper, but
has he
I don't
started?
know.
Has he started a game this season?
No, one sub appearance there. It looks like.
Who was? I think it was this good lad that he started a game and then he got sent on loan.
So I don't know if you want him anyway, because I think Charlton will score, and then maybe he might be one for a free hit in 38. Maybe if anyone's intending to use a free hit in 38, might be a cheap way into the Chelsea defence if he's in the game by then. Salmon. But because it's probably a clean sheet against Everton, game week 38 is probably quite likely. But yeah, I fancy Charlton to score anyway this week, even if Kudachini was playing. So, but it's a cheap way in if you want a Chelsea defender or goalkeeper.
Right, Derby, Malcolm Christie still out for 2 weeks with his damaged neck. So
Big shame for this week. They've got Millwall at home, haven't they? Derby. So probably their most likely goal scorer is out. So it might have been one that free hitting this week. He might have been one that people might have thought about having as a third striker or something.
Marvin Robertson, 2 weeks. I think he just been put in the game. I'm not sure. Can't remember. Other than that, nothing to report from Derby County. Everton, Cleland and Kearney are not in the game. Scott Gemmell, out for a few days, twisted knee, so 28. Cloud, 86%. When did they actually play next? They play today, so he's 86% going into the game. Everyone else is okay. Few players unhappy. What's Big Duncan unhappy? Right. That's
Of course,
it.
he does. Reserves one, not even been on the.
He's not playing.
Been in the team since Zeratos and Campbell for about 15 games in a row, and maybe he wants a lesser contract. Maybe he feels like he's getting overpaid. That's why he wants a new one.
Right, Ipswich. Thomas Gard, so 90%, few days. David Prutton, 3 weeks, so 52%. Might feature in 38, might not. I doubt it though. I don't think many people have David Prutton, to be honest. But other than that, what's wrong with Herman? Wants to go to a bigger club. He's fed up in at Ipswich. Yeah, he's 28. He needs that big move.
Maybe Liverpool should have bought him rather than Colin Cooper.
Yeah,
I got their priorities wrong.
Yeah. What's wrong with Justin Miller? He wants first team football, so that he can get that first cap for South Africa. Right, that's Ipswich. Now Leeds had a few injuries recently. I think Mark Viduka was injured, but he's back and at 100%. He's ready to go for that final push at the Golden Boot. I think he's in the running for the Golden Boot still. I think it's him, Phillips, and I think Henri's up there as well now, and Rude. I think there's 4 of them all within 3 or 4 goals of each other. see, Rude's got the huge advantage. I think he's top and got 2 games in hand over everyone.
Yeah, he'll get it. Nice to
Yes.
see Harry Kewell still injured after his 10-second cameo the
He's
weekend. I saw on the Discord that Luke shared.
re-injured. I think he was like, I think he was 60% or something, or 70% going into last night, and now he's back down to 5%. With his someone re-stepped on his bad toe.
You got to
So,
love the fact that someone gets substituted on the 90th minute and then gets injured and
yeah.
still trying to put the back off again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Couldn't believe. Yeah, I saw that in the comms, and I was just like, that is just ridiculous. Because where we get the data extract, and I obviously have to just quickly check that the number of minutes everyone's played is all there and everything. And normally it's all right. And I was like, why is there no minutes for Harry Kewell? And it's because he'd come on and went off in the same minute. I had to
Didn't do his stretches properly, did he?
manually put in. I had to put in 1 minute because that's the minimum you can do. So, yeah, put that in. Eric Bakker, 50% with his broken toe. So might see him back for 38. This, by the way, 38 is 2 weeks away because of the FA Cup final next week in game. Just in case people are wondering why I keep saying 38 when we're seeing 10 days and 2 weeks on the screen. Dubry's still out for the rest of the season. Can still Sharif, I like saying his name.
He's good on this game. If you manually manage a team, he actually gets quite good sometimes as a useful left back.
Yeah,
but obviously the AI won't pick him in this because he's not well known enough and his reputation is too low. But if you play the game yourself, he's an interesting one to consider for a left back.
Yeah, Martin O'Neill isn't a fan of him, and Stephen Ferguson is not in the game either. Other than that, everyone is all okay. Right. Oh, it's not Liverpool yet. Leicester. Dennis Wise, 10 days pulled hamstring still, so yeah, game week 38. Terry Dunfield, 85%. Other than that, what's happened? Oh, Damien Delaney wants a new contract.
Can't remember off the top of my head who takes their set pieces when Wise isn't playing, but that could be interesting for someone. Their fixture is quite good this game week, Leicester. They're maybe a team to consider.
Yeah, Sunderland away from home aren't very good.
Villa we saw Aston Villa beat them 5-0 the other week when Dublin scored the hat-trick. And I wouldn't be surprised if Leicester are capable of getting 3 or 4 in this game as well. So
yeah, they've got that, and then they've got Millwall away, which it's not a bad fixture. Like if you've got a Leicester mid or attacker, you'd still play them.
I'm getting Scowcroft in as part of my -12, hoping that he plays the Dublin role for them against Sunderland because he's the target of all their long balls, the same way Dublin is for Villa. And we saw Dublin score a hat-trick against Sunderland, so I'm hoping Scowcroft can do the same. But I'm not too sure he's on their set pieces now. I have to try and work that out after stream. But
should we have a quick look at that match report?
Is it took a free kick there? I don't know if it's a valuable. I just saw that flash through. Who's taking the corner? Any corners? Corner there. Oh no, don't see who took it there.
Commentary. Is it free kick?
Robbie Savage took a corner. 64 minutes there.
Is it free kick? Savage corner.
He won't be a popular pick, Robbie Savage, but on set pieces for the last 2 games.
Yeah, is it free kick there?
So yeah, a few options. Now I think these players become a little bit more valuable now than before if they're going to get some of the set pieces. Just something to bear in mind with, I say, 2 pretty good games left.
Yeah. Delaney free kick.
That'll be. Was that a shot? Is he? Yeah. So maybe he's going to take some direct free kicks. That's interesting, Delaney.
He was on the pitch. He won the free kick, and then Delaney took it. So
I can only assume their set piece and attributes are fairly similar, so they're going to be on rotation. But yeah, I think some Leicester assets are a bit more useful now for the last 2 games.
Right. Here's some bad news. Well, it's bad news for me. A few injuries at Liverpool.
Yeah, look at this here.
2 new ones this week. Patrick Berger out for a week. So he could be back for the second game of the double against Man United, because that's 8 or 9 days. 9 days away. That's on the Monday night. So he could be back for then. But you obviously, if you own him, you don't know what you're doing with him, whether you'd keep him. I mean, it's not a great Man United at home.
They'll win that, I think, Liverpool. They're probably favourites to win that 1-0 or something, would be my... If you said to me now what's the most likely result, Liverpool 1-0 probably in the double.
It's not going to be a great game. Like, the value you're getting from one game of Patrick Berger in the double game week when it's Man United at home, just that Man United at home fixture, is not much there. And then for me, Richie Partridge's season is over.
You only just brought him in last week.
Yep. I brought him in for the treble game week, and his season is over. So I'm going to have to find another Liverpool mid to replace him with.
They're probably short of left midfielders now, aren't they? Barmby's out, Partridge is out, Berger's out.
Yeah, so there's going to be someone that's nailed at left mid for 2, guaranteed probably 2 starts.
Can play left, I think, but I don't know what.
It's Risa.
Yeah, they could play him left midfielder. I think Smeetser's maybe more likely.
Yeah, Smeetser. So Smeetser could be the one. And then on the right, I think with Barmby's injury, he's got Barmby, Partridge, Berger, all injured. I think these 2 are very good picks now.
Who's that?
Smeetser and Murphy.
Yeah, I would say so. They could play Biscan right midfield as well. There's been going to happen sometimes. Not his best position by a long way, but they sometimes drop him in there. They'd be better off playing Biscan in the middle with Gerrard if they was going to do it. But I wouldn't be, you know what this game's like. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to dump him out on the right. But Smeetser's probably an interesting differential now for the double, because he's probably the most likely now to play on the left, I would think. I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, when they play right, left, centre, they've still got a dominant side in the background. And it depends what number they've got, because Phil Neville can play left back, but he very rarely plays there. And I don't know what Smeetser's number is off the top of my head, but I would imagine.
They're rating for it, won't it?
So assuming he's got a high enough number, he's definitely the most likely to play left, I would think. So good differential there for the double. I don't know how much he is, but maybe he's your way out from Partridge if you want to stay with Liverpool.
Smeetser will be, I think he's 6.5, 7? I don't know. Someone say in the chat. Someone tell us. Right, Kirkland out for 2 weeks. Doesn't really make any difference. Sholand, season's over. Barmby, back 38. Owen's an interesting one. Out for 10 days. So you'd think that his condition will be high enough in 9 days' time to maybe feature in the game against United as well.
They've played him before on a low condition, haven't they? This wouldn't be the first time they've dropped him in. I'd probably expect him to play.
I think they've done it a couple of times, and one of the times he got injured, the other time he got a brace or something like that, because he's quite injury prone, isn't he? So yeah, I probably wouldn't be risking it, knowing you've got Michael Owen against Man United. Potentially maybe only playing like 20 minutes because he gets injured. But in that 20 minutes, he could score.
I think if you've got to go, obviously, there's other strikers this week in the premium bracket are a lot more upside than that. I think you steer clear of Liverpool strikers. I think personally this week, you're not sure going to play between Fowler and Heskey, are you? That's up in the air who plays with Owen. As I think Owen will play the second game. You're probably better off punting on Smeetser, I think, if you're going to go Liverpool attacking player.
Smeetser. Murphy.
Well, Murphy's on a few set pieces. Maybe he could be a bit of a differential as well if he's takes some set pieces.
And then a lot of people, like I've got Hoopier, so he's not going anywhere this week. I think, originally I was going to be bringing in, and I wanted to see what Owen's condition was, and then I'd be looking at Heskey maybe. But yeah, if think Owen will probably start that second game of the double now. So yeah, I don't think I'll be touching Heskey. Because I don't think he might not start both games, and I'd want him to start both.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Right, so that's Liverpool. Man City. New news is there. Paulo Wanchop, 90%. He's in need of a rest, injured during training. He's strained his wrist. Surely just strap it up, mate. Strap it up and man up. So yeah, he's out for a week.
It's funny that he actually puts in the comms there in need of a rest. I wouldn't have thought that would be the standard injury that needs a rest, a strained wrist.
Stop wanking, mate. I don't know why he was doing that at training, but right, Simon Horworth out for a week with damaged shoulder. Now that's a normal training injury, a shoulder injury. Haaland, 67%. He's broken his toe for the reserves. Tardo, 90%. He sprained his wrist. Oh, it was him and Wanchop together. The two South Americans.
The manager must have brought a guest into training or something.
A guest into training.
Perk the players up a little bit. They needed a little bit of.
Right.
I did say on Twitter there might be an injury in a reserve game in Manchester.
Yeah, but you weren't expecting it to be Alf-Inge Haaland. Other than that, I think City are all good. Right, let's go to Middlesbrough. Just to
keep them waiting.
Yeah, we'll keep them waiting for the big news. Steve Finnan, 66%. Hanson's on loan. I don't even know who Paul Ryan is.
Finnan's punishment there for replacing Zepeda for the game, isn't it? That he's now not fit enough to play the next one. He was the person that played instead of Zepeda.
Yeah.
But same, yeah, Middlesbrough pointless now, aren't they? Away to Man United. I don't think people have got three of them, which is quite common. They're a worthy hold because obviously Newcastle is a good game in 38.
Yeah, like I think, yeah, Zepeda, like Boxic, you'd sell because that's a lot of money to have up front away to Man United when there's other options there. Zepeda is might be a hold. Southgate probably a sell.
It depends what else you've got. I think it's definitely worth holding one. I'll be holding Southgate and having him first sub. He still could get bonus points away to Man United. He's got it in him to get an 8 and 2 bonus or something, even if he concedes. Zepeda, I'd see what else you can do. There's obviously a lot of 7 million midfielders.
Yeah, you could move him. You could move him to Smeetser or Murphy, I assume.
Yeah,
I think
Perez has got Tottenham at home. You probably ain't far away from a couple of Man United players if you wanted to, depending on what you want.
Other than that, not much else from Middlesbrough. Right. Millwall. Look at Millwall. Stephen Reed, 2 weeks. Out till 38. Other than that, Ronnie Ball is not in. I don't think he's in the game anyway. Other than that, everyone is okay. And I'm probably going to be bringing in a Millwall player.
Kinney's probably nailed for the double now. Reed's injured. He's usually the backup to play left midfield. So I'd imagine Kinney's now. I don't think there's anyone else really to challenge him for the left midfield role. So he's another one massively underachieved. I know he's only 5 million, but I think anyone that's in the game would probably have expected a little bit more from him. 3 goals, 3 assists is quite low for him. So maybe he's due, if that's such a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually quite a good double for Millwall. Even though they've got that Man United fixture, I think, that Derby fixture could be worth punting on, even though it's away.
It's wingers away to wing backs, isn't it, again? So you know that's a good thing in this game. And I think I said earlier, Derby, Bolton, those sort of teams, central midfielders could do well. I think one of the midfielders from Millwall will probably get at least one attacking return this week. I wouldn't want to call it. It'll be between Kinney, Alexanderson and probably Cahill. But one of those three will probably get at least an assist, I would think, this game week.
Yeah, I'm thinking of who have I got?
Alexanderson probably. He's the common one, isn't
Yeah,
he?
I was thinking of. I think it's going to be. I've got Zapata and Flitcroft that I kind of both want rid of, and I think it's going to be Kinney and one of Smeets or Murphy at the moment. I might. It's the strikers. I need to get rid of Boxic. I'm going to be taking a -8. I'm happy with that because I'm going to be using a chip this week, and yeah.
There's lots of
I'm thinking
options for
about
strikers.
these
We'll touch on them at the end
strikers.
when we look at the fixtures, but there is quite a few strikers that
Yeah.
could do well this week.
Right, Newcastle. There's a fair bit that's gone on here this week, as well as everyone being unhappy. Now they're all in the treatment room as well. Right, Kieran Dyer still tired for 54%. Andy O'Brien, 65% out for a few days. Alan
Seems like
Shearer.
Olahoy's got a bit concerned in training that all the strikers are going to come and take his spot, so he's got an injured Lualu, Arcourt, and Kadamati so he can keep his space.
Yeah. Alan Shearer is 1 yellow from a ban. So if he gets a yellow this week, I think he is banned for 38. Yeah, I think if you do happen to still have Shearer, that's something to be it's something to be wary of. I mean, he hasn't got the best fixture in 38 anyway. But yeah, definitely something to be wary of with that yellow card. That means he's picked up 9 yellow cards this season.
I think he's got quite a high aggression, hasn't he, Shearer? Am I right?
Yeah, 18.
He's fairly high, 18, so he probably goes around throwing his weight around. Doesn't surprise me really. He gets a few too many yellows.
And 9 yellow cards. Wow. Alan. Right, Carl Court. His season is over. Just going to make it interesting if Shearer does. Just locks in Ola, that other guy. Delapo.
At least I'm not the only one who can't pronounce his name. I hate saying his name every pod. He's the one person I hate.
Olaoi.
Yeah, that's good.
Olaoi. Yeah. Delapo. Rory Delapo Olaoi. Yeah, so that'd make it interesting if Shearer got suspended. I think that brings like Craig Bellamy back into play.
Or Amiobi or someone maybe.
Amiobi. Danny Cadamarteri, 90%. And Lamano Luar is out for 3 months. So pushing
Too many backflips in training, is it?
Pushing to get back for next season. Yeah, that groin muscle. There's another reserve team injury for you. Will we get a hat trick of reserve team injuries from somewhere up north? I'm not sure. Right, Sunderland. Emerson Tomes band kicked in for his disgusting headbutt on Dion Dublin. That's why Dublin didn't score this week. Because it's delayed concussion.
Oh, even better for my Scowcroft punt if he's out, because he's obviously their best defender as well. So
yeah,
I didn't realise that Tome was suspended. So so I'm happy about that.
Where were you when he headbutted Dion Dublin?
Yeah, I
in
remember, but I kind
minute?
of hadn't registered that he was going to get banned from this week. I remember the red, but I'd forgotten about the ban that follows the red.
he got away with it. He appealed, and yeah, the appeal went through. It was the first time an appeal in Championship Manager went through. I don't think I've ever seen an appeal work out. Pierre Issa out for 10 days. Back 38.
So both centre backs out for Sunderland this week. Interested against Leicester, away to Leicester.
Yeah. So maybe we'll have a look at getting me a Leicester striker going instead of Boxic.
Yeah, another option. Yeah, I like it.
Right. I think that's it with Sunderland. Nothing else there. Right. Spurs. Sereni obviously out for the season. Totter is your man. Everson back possibly for 38. Home to Villa. Other than this Spurs, this Sunderland.
Yeah, you've...
Yeah, there we go. Other than that, what's wrong with Les Ferdinand? He hasn't played first team football. Sorry, Les. Stephen Clarence, first team. Other than that, all good. Wrong with Simon Davies. He wants to go to a bigger club. Spurs, yeah, small club.
Happens quite often, doesn't it? I'm surprised he's still there, to be fair. He's one of the end of season 2. He's normally gone by then in quite a lot of sims, Simon Davies. So they've done well, Tottenham, to hold him this long.
Right, and then Watford, Albert Ferrer, still 2 months. Other than that, what's wrong? Marcus Gale, probably getting a game. That's it. And Stephen Glass, he hadn't played for ages. I saw he played a few times earlier this season. Yeah, he's played half the games.
6.47 average rating's a shocker. That's got to be down there with the worst for someone who's played that many games. He's
So other than that, we better go and have a look at the
We've got one more team left.
One more team. The big news from Manchester is there's no injuries. Everyone is okay for the triple game week. Obviously, some of the conditions are. I actually want to see the conditions. So yeah, Rude 99.
They've just played the Champions League first leg, haven't they? Is that why it's so low?
Yep, they've just won their Champions League first leg.
Yeah, look who scored as well.
Super Luke Chadwick.
Wants to get rid of. Mr. Low Conditions done it in the first leg.
Yep, so comfortable, I'm guessing. Yep, reasonably comfortable at home first leg win. Los Mendieta. Team.
That's it's obviously a good result for Man United. But
it's
the
still...
other games are dominant in the other one. I'd expect a similar level of match stat in the opposite direction for the away leg. So it's a case of whether Man United can hang on for the draw.
Yeah.
Or whether they're... I wouldn't be surprised if that second leg finishes 1-0 now and we end up in an extra time and penalties. A bit like the sim that me and Benno did this on the Man On channel. He went to extra time and penalties, the Champions League game. And I wouldn't be surprised if, based on that first leg score, we get that again. Because, Lazio will attack the second leg and Man United will be fairly defensive. So it's not a clear position to be in, shall we say.
Nedved obviously was cup tied in Europe, so he's still 100%. But it all looks pretty rosy to me ahead of the treble game week. Just a reminder, so they play Middlesbrough today, and then on Wednesday they play Lazio. Then next Saturday they play the FA Cup final against Villa. Then 2 days later they play Liverpool, and then 2 days after that they play Millwall. As things stand, they're still mathematically possible for them to win the league. So at the moment, it looks like at least the first 2 games they'll have. Well, at least the first game they'll have full strength. The Liverpool game, because it's away and against the rival, will be full strength. But yeah, that's the
risk you've got for the treble. I think they'll be full strength against Middlesbrough. They'll play full strength in that Champions League game. Obviously, it really hinges on the FA Cup game. Yeah, in the scenes we ran, sometimes they rotated and went full rep. Sometimes they played full strength. And even the rep game, there'll be like 2 or 3 players that probably stay in, like Gary Neville did in the sim we ran live. And then fitness was too low to play the Liverpool game. So the FA Cup game will have a big bearing on who plays the Liverpool game, because obviously there's only 2 days between those games. So if they go full rep, we'll probably get full strength against Liverpool. Yeah. If they go full rep in the FA Cup, if they end up playing full strength against in the FA Cup game, then a few players will be quite low condition before the Liverpool game.
Brought up here, so that's the stamina. Pretty much every name you see 19 and above on stamina. So
they'll get back to sort of mid-80s, but we know on this game that's kind of the threshold when they might be dropped, especially in defenders where there's quite a lot of competition for places anyway. If someone's sort of mid to low 80s condition, there's probably half a chance they'll get rotated. Maybe not Sylvester, because I don't think he's got any real competition for his spot. But the other ones, like Gary Neville, for example, Ronnie Johnson, if it's them, I wouldn't be surprised if they missed it. So there's nothing we can do in advance because we don't know what the FA Cup team's going to be. But it's that's going to have the biggest impact, I think, on who plays 2 or who plays 3 in the treble.
Yeah. So, right, there we go. That's all the team news. Let's have a look quickly at the table as it stands. So yeah, as you can see, United 7 points behind with 2 games in hand. So I think
And if
if
they're
they
realistically not going to beat Liverpool, are they? I don't think. I think that'll be a surprise if they win that. They'll probably lose it. So you're looking at United getting 12 points maximum from their 5.
So and
4, so 4 left, so 9 points maximum. So Leeds need 1 win, I would say, to win the league. I think it's realistic.
So we kind of want Leeds to drop points this week to just pretty much guarantee a full strength United.
Yeah, if they draw this week, that would be good. I think going to the final game.
Yeah, not much else. Derby clinging on. 3 points behind Watford. I think Millwall probably go down. Yeah, they'll go down against United. Yeah, they'll go down. They'll go down against Man United unless they pull off the shock of the century and manage to get a win and ruin.
Didn't they beat them earlier in the season? I'm not making it up, am I? They won the home game against them, didn't they, Millwall?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I thought
got sent off. I reckon the sending off was it was already 2-1, and then Rocker Jr. got sent off. It was Chadwick's injury. That's what's ruined it. He came, he scored, got injured in the 32nd minute, 33rd minute, Savarese equalises, and then it's all Millwall.
I vaguely remember that was the week I did a pod about he was a good person to bring in. It was about that point in the season where we kind of realised he was becoming first choice over Beckham, like the tide had turned. And I did a pod about it, and I got him in. And I mentioned it on the pod. I think he was the most popular transfer in that week, and everyone was jumping for joy 70 minutes in that he scored.
And then he got injured.
So everyone got their 5 points, I think it was, but everyone was quite happy. I think they got their 5 points. And
yeah. Quick look at so it's the average ratings. Not much change since last week. Yes, there's the race for the Golden Boot. Rude. Oh, he's probably out of it, but Omri still got a slight shout. Phillips a goal behind Rude. Where's Viduka? Oh, Viduka's miles behind. 10 goals behind.
We've done well here because quite a lot of Sims end of the season. Top scorer maybe gets like 23, 24. Not usually 2 or 3 getting higher 20s, which looks like we're going to get. We've got Henri playing against Tota this week as well, haven't we?
I think Rude, Phillips, and then Henri in this second half of the season, like they've all been unbelievable. Like this season, like Rude's pretty much returned every home game.
Yeah,
I can't remember like many home games that he blanked in. Yeah, he's just been unbelievable. Better than.
He's good this week, isn't he? He's pretty much got 12 points, I think. I'll work out. So 3 appearance games. He's probably going to get man of the match in one of those 2 home games and high bonus in the other one. So you're looking at 11, 12 points before you even think about an attacking return this week. I think he'll play all 3. So I'd imagine he's going to be the popular captain this week. I wouldn't say he's not. It depends how sort of daring you want to be, I guess, with the captaincy. But anyone playing relatively safe, I think he's the obvious person to go for. I think Henri will do well this week as well. Though he's got Arsenal tend to batter Tottenham quite a lot, and they've got Totter in goal as well, haven't they? So not that you're going to captain Henri here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he scored 2 or something this game week.
I don't think I can stretch my boxic money to Henri. Yeah, I think so. I'm triple captaining this week, and so I've made it into the top 100, but now I'm like at 88th, and so I've got 2 chips to spare. I've got a bench boost and a triple captain, and I want that top 50 now. Smell the top 50, so I'm going to go this man here, a triple captain, just as a gam, because I think that owning Rude anyway, and I think Veron is probably very similar. Like he could get a couple of returns, couple of goals, couple of assists, and pick up bonus as well.
My only slight worry with Veron, the Sims we ran on the pod, he tended to be the second most affected by condition after Chadwick. And in the sim we ran with Benno, Scholes had left and we didn't have Nedved. So if he's knocking around sort of 85%, for example, after the FA Cup game, Nedved can obviously play central midfield with the up arrow that the role Veron normally plays. And they've got Scholes still around to play that role. I think he's more at risk than Van Nistelrooy to play all three. I'm not saying he won't. I think it's still probably more likely that he does than he doesn't. But I think there is.
Stop talking now. Stop talking now. You just said he's more likely that he does than he doesn't, because
I'll make you like 70% all three.
Like, obviously, I've been holding that triple captainship all season for either Rude or Veron. I always told myself, like, have a look at where I am, whether I want to be pushing or not. So I think it's just like, I don't think by not putting a triple captain on Rude, that it could make me, unless he goes and like gets 6 goals over the 3 games, with full bonus points in all of them, then I'm fucked. Really, I think anyone that doesn't triple captain him
that well in the first 2, if I'm being honest, Van Nistelrooy. It's all on that Millwall game.
I'm not sure how many triple captains like chips are still out there. A lot of them are being used.
So I think Van Nistelrooy definitely plays all 3, obviously, unless he gets injured or sent off. But I'm not expecting like monster hauls. Say the Millwall game's a lottery. That Arsenal put 5 past them last week. Man United could easily do that. But I think people will be on their nerves a bit, because I think they may only beat Middlesbrough like 1-0. And I'm not expecting them to score away to Liverpool. So it's a lot of eggs in the basket of them thrashing Millwall, Man United. So I'm way behind. I'm captaining Sylvester. I've already made my mind up that I'm banking on the clean sheets more than the attacking returns.
You want a boring game week then for Man United?
Oh, like, yeah, 3-0.
Yeah. Right, let's have a quick look at assists. Alan Johnston leading the assists.
Look at those players under the radar. Like, most people think Hughes has had a bad year. 2 guys been quite under the radar. Johnston, I think people know he's doing well.
Yeah.
But a lot of players there that probably haven't had much ownership outside of Petkoff and Veron.
Yeah, I mean, Johnston, you don't realise he's not doing well because he hasn't scored many goals. He's only got 9 goals, but he's banging the assists. Whereas last season he was scoring a lot as well.
I think he's benefited from playing maybe on the left a lot more now. Obviously, since the Payders come, he had to change role. But he's doing well out there.
Right, let's have a look at next week's fixtures then. Take that off. Right, so Villa Liverpool. We'll do this quite quickly because I know you've already podded about next week's fixtures properly. So yeah, we'll just do a quick run through, and then if people
I'm not going through this week, to be fair. So we did the Man United Middlesbrough one. I've got a different pod lined up for Tuesday. But he won't really be talking too heavily about the fixture. It's not going to be like a fixture breakdown. So this will probably be my only chance this week to talk in depth about it. So I won't talk in depth though, because we haven't got 2 hours to talk about these fixtures. I've got to finish my Wagamama as if nothing else.
Yeah. So we'll just quickly, we'll do a quick score prediction and player to target. So obviously Liverpool got 2 fixtures. Villa. I mean, let's go with the score prediction for the Villa-Liverpool game.
1-1,
first of all.
Say.
Yeah, and a player to target, obviously, it's going to be from Liverpool, because of the second fixture with Man United. So
I would get one of the 2 central defenders. Hippie, I prefer Honcho, but obviously Hippie has got the pens. If I was going to get a Liverpool player, it'd be one of those 2, and maybe Smeetser as a punt.
Cool. Blackburn City.
Home team, most likely, I would say here. Man, I think City are the worst away attackers in the league. I think they're always good to attack with home players with defenders. Obviously, Westerveld, I've already said about him.
I probably wouldn't look at bringing in a player for Blackburn. Like, it's nothing. They've got Sunderland away in game week 38. Yeah, it's probably a
2-0 Blackburn, maybe. I think probably
we'll say Blackburn win, but we don't want any players from them unless we already own defenders or whatever from them. Derby Millwall, right? So Millwall have got the away fixture to Derby, and then they've got the away fixture to Man United. We going for a Millwall win or a Derby win, but Millwall score, or what do
I'll
we
go
think?
Derby. Derby 4-1. I'm going to say. I'm going to please Andy. I know Andy Tactician has got quite a few Millwall defenders. I
He's
saw
on
he was
the.
quite happy
He's
about him this
fully on
week.
the. He's fully on the
Yeah,
Millwall train, isn't he?
they could concede about 8 this week, I think.
um,
So he may end up with negative points from a double game week from all his defenders. I think Derby. Obviously, we've got the fact that Christie's out, and I think I'm not sure they'll play up front with Ravanelli.
hmm,
I'm going to get Ravanelli in this week because I think Derby will do well. He's who I'm getting in for Boxic. That's going to be my move,
Ravanelli.
Ravanelli. But I think Derby will do a bit of it. They'll turn them over quite heavily, I think.
Cool. Right, Everton, Ipswich. I've got Kevin Campbell. Should I be holding on to him?
Yeah, I probably would at that price. I don't think there's anyone especially good who's cheap. Maybe apart from a Derby striker.
Hmm.
I wouldn't change him though. This is wing backs against wing backs. Oh, 1-0 Everton, maybe 1-1. I don't know. This is one of those sort of up and down games. It could be anything. I don't think it'll be fairly close. 1 goal in it either way. I'll go 1-0 Everton.
Cool. Right, Man United. Right, we'll go. Just get a score for the first fixture against Middlesbrough.
1-0.
And then, right, who are the 3 players that you'd want in your team, or who have you got in your team?
I will have Barthez. I'm going to go triple defence. I'm going to go rogue though. I'm going to have Barthez, Roque Jr. and Sylvester. They're going to be my 3 Man United players. I just want to be a bit different. So I've got nothing really to play for, and I'm going to go a bit different. If I was playing seriously, I would probably have either one of Barthez and Sylvester. I'd probably have Nedved, and I'd probably have Van Nistelrooy. Would be the 3 that I would choose to have.
I've got Rude, Veron, and Chadwick. My 3.
Yes, yeah. I'm definitely. I'm pretty convinced Chadwick's not playing all 3. So obviously he's got to. If he misses one, they will miss Liverpool away, which is the one with the least upside. So he should play the 2 home games.
Yeah.
So he's not necessarily a bad hold, Chadwick, but there's definitely players with more upside than him.
Yeah. Yeah. I brought him in like 2 or 3 weeks. I think it was once the treble was confirmed. I brought him in because he's someone that I can just have in, and I didn't mind, like because he's cheap. I wasn't, and then I was like, kind of like, right, I've got my United players locked in. Then I can move around and work out who I want for Liverpool. And because with Liverpool, there's injuries coming in and out, left, right, and centre. So just didn't know how the squad would look for Liverpool. And now we've kind of got an idea of what that midfield might be. Yeah, it helps.
Yeah. I'm taking Chadwick out as part of my -12. So everyone's getting him in and I'm taking him out. Which is blocking one of my 3 defender spots. So I need to get him out.
Newcastle Bolton.
I think Newcastle win this quite comfortably. 3-1. I think we might get a return from Stephen Hughes in this game.
Not Rory Delapo or Loaoe.
I don't. No,
No.
probably not. No. But central midfielders at home to Bolton, quite a good game. We saw from Veron last week. Hughes is fairly similar. So I'll go for Stephen Hughes to maybe get double figure return this week, 10, 11 points or something. Hope so. He's in my team. So let's hope so.
And then Watford versus Leeds. Are Watford going to produce a miracle? United, are Man United going to send Andy Cole out on loan to Watford this week? Just send him down the motorway.
It's not a banker win this for Leeds. It's probably
60. I think 60-40 Leeds.
Yeah, maybe I'd say that maybe 50% likely Leeds win with maybe 20%, 25% a draw, 25% Watford. I think this could easily be like 1-1. Watford will attack it. Leeds will be normal. Yeah, I think this one's one that could go a bit like the Everton Ipswich. I think a lot of the games this week are fairly predictable, but Everton Ipswich and this one, I say it'd be nice for the fact that they won't be champions if they don't win. I'll go 1-1 this week. Watford Leeds.
That's the score everyone wants. Right, Arsenal Spurs. Arsenal. I think this could be a big win for Arsenal.
The Sims aren't suggesting it's as big as what it was. So when Tottenham played under the previous manager with the wing backs under Hoddle, this was a big game for Arsenal. They absolutely battered them like all the time at home. Obviously, McLeish is not quite as attacking as Hoddle was, so Arsenal don't dominate quite as good. But we've got Totter in goal, so I'd still probably
Shoot on
expect
sight.
Arsenal. Sorry,
shoot on sight. Henri, just get the ball and just shoot.
I'd expect Arsenal to score at least 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they scored more than that. I'll go 3-0 Arsenal.
And I know I can see who's in the chat, and he might be on comms this week, depending on whether Luke's internet is sorted. And we all know what happened when Rory's on comms. Henri 4-goal haul incoming, I think, this week. No one's going to own him though. Yeah, he could haul. I've got a feeling he'll haul. But yeah, he'll be.
I wouldn't be taking him out if I had him. I definitely wouldn't be taking him out if I had him.
No, even for Van Nistelrooy, that's tough. That would be tough. If you had the money to move up to Van Nistelrooy for the treble,
I found another way to get him. I wouldn't take Henri out to do it.
There might not be another way. That could be the only way. Fucking hell, who else you got to sell?
A lot of people have got 2 premiums, right? Most teams have got 2 bullets or something, maybe.
Right, Leicester versus Sunderland. Leicester win. I mean, Sunderland were poor against Villa, weren't they?
No centre backs for Sunderland. Leicester not bad at home. I think this could be 3 again. I'll say 3-1 Leicester.
Cool. One said Mr. Sables and tax streams. Well, call BT or OpenReach or wherever Luke's internet provider is and tell him to sort it out, because it's been 3 weeks he's had no internet.
Do you want to quickly put a robe on and I'll take my cap off and then it'll look like
I've got
like Luke and Andy.
Mrs. will be like, I thought you were still on that podcast thing. I'm like, yeah, I am. Why are you getting in your dressing gown on it? What is it? She'll think I've like become some sort of like cam. What's it? OnlyFans. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm too old for that.
Right, Chelsea.
I'm gonna be rogue here. I'll say Charlton win 2-1.
Oh, we've seen Charlton pull out some shock results at home, haven't we?
Yeah, Salmon in goal. Yeah, Chelsea don't tend to score too many against anyone. I fancy Charlton to score anyway. I think they might score 2 now against the teenage Swedish keeper. So I'll go 2-1 Charlton.
Cool. And then you've already pretty much said you think it's going to be 1-0 Liverpool, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so.
And I mean, this is the game we think that Michael Owen might feature in there. So, I mean, that 1-0, you don't know where that goal is going to come from. It could be Michael Owen, but he might have been re-injured himself by the time that they scored. But we're not expecting much from Man United assets.
Definitely low scoring. Yeah.
And then finally, Man United v Millwall.
Wouldn't want to predict this. 4-0 seems logical.
Yeah, it's 11 days away in game. It's a long way, the final game.
So much can happen. Man United have got 4 games before then for someone to get injured or something. So it's a big punt. Whatever Man United players you go for, it's a big punt. Yeah, like getting someone to that game without getting injured or something is a reasonable ask. Yeah, and this is the game, the only real game I think you're going to get returns from. Maybe they could score a couple against Middlesbrough, but it doesn't seem like it's likely. 1 or 2-0 is likely. This one's got the potential to be 4 or 5, but say knowing who's going to be starting is risky. Knowing
our triple captain Veron, and he'll probably be like leading Rude, like he'll outscore Rude in the first game, and then they'll both do well in Champions League. They'll both do well in the FA Cup final. Then we'll get to the Liverpool game, and Veron will still be outscoring Rude, but then he'll get injured in the 90th minute, and then Rude will go mental against Millwall, and our Veron triple captain won't be there. So that's the sort of thing
you've got no condition. You've got the fact this is a possible rep game. There's a lot of things that could happen ahead of this Millwall game.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be silly. It's obviously silly not to tackle the treble, but yeah, it's always going to be high risk with a chip on it, but can't see. There's no reason not to use the chip other than
No. You have to do
potential
that.
injuries.
You
Yeah.
have to do that.
I think in real life, it's one of those where I'd probably be sticking it on the goalkeeper or something like that. But yeah, and thinking this, you
I
have to
don't
go.
think he's the daftest thing. He's the most likely of all to play all 3 games, Barthez. And I think 1, probably 2 clean sheets is likely.
He might get save points against Liverpool as well. 2
Yeah,
clean sheets and some save
I'd be
points
amazed
against
if he
Liverpool.
didn't get like a minimum of 15 or something in this game week. And if you're happy with that from your triple captain, I wouldn't put people off doing that. I think it's a perfectly sort of sensible move.
It's like
He hasn't got the upside that Van Nistelrooy could score 8 or something, right?
Yeah.
There's clearly that upside. Barthez has got a far lower ceiling, but I think he's
until he saves a load of hoopier penalties.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get sunburn and won't be able to play. Maybe that's a new injury.
You had to get who is it? Oh, it was Laurent Blanc who used to kiss his head.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Right. I think that's it. That's everything. That's everything ahead of 37. Right. Some admin for 37. Right. Luke will be providing the leak to the scout very shortly. I believe he's going to tweet it out this evening before he goes to bed. Could be, yeah, so any time in the next hour maybe. And the leak will be the lineups for Millwall and Liverpool for the first game of the double. That's that. And some of you may have noticed last night there was a vote for how the treble game week would be played out. And after some discussion in-house, it didn't seem feasible to change the way that the treble game week will be played out. So it will be played out as doubles and trebles have been in the past, with the 10 first games live on the stream on the Thursday. The second game will probably be on the Friday morning, and the third game probably on the Saturday morning, just to give you some suspense. And then it means that between the first game and the second game, we can do some updates on the Champions League result and the FA Cup result, and let you know that all your players are injured for the second and third game. So there's no need to read the tweets in the end anyway. But yeah, we thought there was a lot of people that obviously voted for the change, but I think at the end of the day, it just didn't seem feasible to try and squeeze it all in into such a short space of time. Yeah, it could be more of a pain in the arse than it was worth, especially if it was a high-scoring game week. Yeah, it's hard enough when there's 30 goals in a game week. Add another couple of games into that, it could be impossible. Right, they're all saying lies and RIP democracy, lies. Well,
I can't see the chat, so I'm quite glad.
This ain't a democracy. Yeah, this was down from Luke at Disable. He spoke and he said that's how he's doing it because he's on comms this week. So tough tits to Irons and Rory, who were very much up for it. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, you're going to get 10 games on Thursday,
yeah.
to kick off the game week. Anything you want to say? You want to plug your pod before we head off for the evening?
I'll share on my Twitter and I'll reshare the audio version and the YouTube version of the Man United treble live stream that I did with Benno. So we ran through the 3 fixtures as if it was played in the actual sim and talked through a lot of stuff to do with that. I think that might be quite useful to people. There'll be another Man on Pod out on Tuesday that's ChampMan specific. Without going too much detail, I've got a few of the people that are sort of near the top of the leaderboard all on. We're going to do a little round table, me and a couple of the guys that are bidding to be overall rank 1. So that will be out this week as well before Thursday. So they share some thoughts. I think there's some talk of a free hit going around this week from one of them and a few other things. So it'll be interesting how much they're prepared to share. obviously don't want to give too much away to the people that are chasing them or around them.
Mm.
But hopefully get some good discussion about that this week. And so I'm sure on there we'll touch on some of these fixtures in a bit more detail, what people are thinking. But yeah, it's all on my Championship Amateur stuff is now on the Man On channel on YouTube and on Spotify. So audio and video now.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Yeah, that's it. I haven't even got anything to plug this week. Well, if you fancy something ahead of that slightly important match on Sunday, the Wimbledon final, then yeah, I recorded a preview of for the Euro final with a representative from England, James from Planet FPL, and another James who has been our representative for Italy on the Happy Hour Euros pods. We did a little analysis of the semi-finals, a little preview of the final. There's a little bit of fantasy, but we generally just talk about because the fantasy game is kind of one, like everyone's pretty much got fairly similar teams now, so we kind of just talked about the game itself, picked a team of the tournament. Yeah, so if you fancy having a listen to that, yeah, check out FPL Happy Hour on Twitter, and there's links to the YouTube and the audio channels there. But yeah, that's it. Everyone have a good weekend. For those of you that are England fans, then yeah, enjoy Sunday. It's going to be. I can't. I think tomorrow morning it will start to feel like something's about to happen. At the moment, I'm still in this like limbo of not being able to believe what's going on. But yeah, fingers crossed.
You're not playing us out with World in Motion. I thought you'd have it loaded up that you could play World in Motion to play us out.
Players, no, I could have I could have had the snapback on and done the John Barnes rap. No, I won't be playing us out with World in Motion. We don't want this getting taken down for copyright.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, you'll just get us signing off for the night. Cheers, guys.